Tonight, we're just gonna do a few things before I begin. So just before we start off this session, I would like to ask everyone to please kindly mute. Hey, just can I ask everyone to kindly mute yourself, just so we can carry this session as clear as possible. And of course, if you do have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat window, and we'll answer accordingly. Or we'll also be having a Q&A session towards the end of the night, where you can come off mute and ask the questions yourself. And again, this session will be recorded and will be shared with teachers and can then be shared with parents as well. So if you do not want to be recorded, please turn off your camera. Thank you. All right, now without further ado, big welcome from the Microsoft DigiGirlz team to everyone that's here tonight to the Whanau Info Night. It is exciting for us that the DigiGirlz event is just days away, and we have just been waiting for this very day. So again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate you all. And I'm just going to introduce myself and my colleague Shannon, who will be delivering this session here tonight. So my name is Jonathan Engren. I am part of the outreach lead in the Microsoft DigiGirlz team. And a little bit about myself, I'm a student myself at AUT, and I come from Vanuatu. So I'll hand it over to Shannon.
Thanks, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon, and I'm on the content team for DigiGirlz this year. Outside of work, I'm also still finishing off my final year as an engineering student at Auckland University.
Thanks, Shannon. And of course, you will get to meet the entire V team itself. So I will proudly introduce Anusha and Harsha, who is in the call here today as our two co-leads. Feel free to come with me and say hi and introduce yourselves.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Harshal and I'm one of the co-leads alongside with Anusha in the room. And we're really excited to have you all on board and super excited for next week. So thank you so much for joining. I know it is 6 p.m, but we really appreciate you all joining and we're really excited to meet you all next week as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Really looking forward to next week. Any questions, let us know in the chat. And thank you for joining tonight. Over to you.
Thanks, Harsha and Anusha. So I'll introduce Sohi as our marketing team's lead as well. She is not in the call due to her own commitments, but we have Ria, our logistics lead, who is in the call today. If you could come with me, just say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone, I am Ria, the logistics lead, taking care of all the things in the background. So if anybody comes across any issues with Teams or audio, let me know. Happy to help. Super excited for the event next week and really pumped to see you all on the call today. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Ria. And I'll introduce Unique and myself as the two outreach leads, and of course the content team, Nick, Leticia, and Shannon, who have brought to you all this cool stuff that we're about to share with you in the next few slides. So again, thank you and welcome to our Whanau Night. And as the event's coming up, you probably have all these questions like, what are we expecting from DigiGirlz itself? Next week's Whanau Night. No, so tonight's Whanau Night, where we'll be going through all the questions that you have for the event itself. We'll be talking about the content, who's going to be in it, for example, and we'll talk a little bit about our DigiGirlz background. And of course, you get to see a bit of how DigiGirlz is really meaningful to us and our value to you as well, and how much of an importance this opportunity is to all Wahine. So I'll hand it over to Shannon.
Thank you, Jonathan. So let me flick to the next slide. Cool. So a bit about DigiGirlz. DigiGirlz is built on top of 3 pillars of our vision. The first one is about dispelling stereotypes. So we are here to tell the girls that high-tech jobs doesn't have to be associated with certain demographics. And we achieve that through our speakers who will act as mentors and role models, and they'll be sharing their different backgrounds and how they came into tech. And secondly, we're here to raise awareness about the variety of careers you can choose from in the tech industry. You don't have to be super good at coding. You don't have to know every single bit about the computer, about softwares to work in tech. If you're creative, if you like talking to people, if you're good at managing relationships, anything, there's always a spot for you in the tech career. And thirdly, we're here to inspire the next generation of innovators by bringing on hands-on experience for the girls to play with a range of different tech tools and to create their own work. And yeah, so get them thinking about technology and how they can be creative with it. So before we delve into the content this year, I'll briefly take you through some of the past events we've had, to give you an idea of what this year will look like. So in 2020, we were lucky enough to run an event in person at Manulewa High School. So on that day, we had a few different workshops, showcases, and also a career panel. So on the left here is a showcase brought by our partner organization, Aware Group, and this is Spot the Robotic Dog. So the girls got to see this robotic dog perform a range of different tricks. They got to play around with the remote control, and they also got to instruct Spot to do some stunts. And on the right here, this is a panel from Microsoft. We had a few interns as well as full-time employees to share about their pathways into tech and into Microsoft. So after that event, we gathered a survey which showed us that 97% of these students at the event actually ended up considering taking a digital class at in their upcoming years at high school, which is something we're super stoked to see. And then in 2021, we took our event up to the Bay of Islands College. So on the left-hand side here, that's a photo of the girls attending a lab app building workshop where they learned to create a simple app themselves in about an hour's time. And on the right, this is a mixed reality workshop where the girls got to play around with a mixed reality device called HoloLens. And then later on in the year, in the November-December timeframe, unfortunately, we were hit by COVID. So that's the first time we decided to take this experience online. And it took a similar format to the one that will be run this year. So these are half-day events spread across 3 days. So the activities we had there were hands-on workshops, showcases, and again speakers. On the left-hand side, you can see that was our speaker last year, Venus. She's a girl working for Microsoft, and she's shared about her story, how she started off as a musician and found her pathway into tech, and she's absolutely doing amazing right now. And on the right here, this is a screenshot of the Padlet wall, which is how girls can interact with us online virtually. So some girls shared photos of them focusing on their tasks during the workshop, dialing from all different places across New Zealand, and some of them also shared the pixel art they created as part of the workshop activity. And now I'll pass it back to Jonathan to take you over the format of events this year.
Thank you, Shannon. So as you have heard, quite a handful of fun interactive session content that we had last year, and we'll be back to this year with the similar content as well. And we have 3 core elements that will structure our events. And as you can see, we will take you through a whole roller coaster of emotions, good emotions, of course. You will feel inspired by the powerful speeches given by the speakers that will be at the event itself. And I like the quote there which says, "You can't be what you see." We really want the girls to be able to resonate with the powerful speeches by the women themselves. And not only that, we're also having our partners showcase their technology, so you get to see a lot of cool things, as Shannon's mentioned from last year, from how we had Spot the Dog, so that was cool. And also synergy. We want the girls to have very memorable and enjoyable events. So we want them to get a hands-on experience, join us in on the fun, and possibly spark an interest and passion with them as they join us as well. And as you can see, 3 of the core elements are quite built upon the 3 pillars that Shannon spoke on earlier. And I'll hand it back to Shannon to talk about the speakers and showcases in the event itself. Thanks, Shannon.
So for speakers, on day 1, we have Vanessa to kick off the week for us. So Vanessa is the managing director of Microsoft New Zealand, and she's a huge advocate for diversity and inclusion in tech. And then also on day one, we have Sonia, who's a senior cloud advocate at Microsoft. So back in high school, Sonia had a very different career in mind. And next week, the girls will learn about how she ended up in tech at the age of 18 with absolutely no degree or qualifications, but successfully navigated all the next 25 years up until now. And then on day two, we have the amazing Shelley and Vivian from NetSafe and OMG Tech, respectively. So Shelley is the lead of the educational team at NetSafe, and she does a lot of teenager workshops all the time, and she's always there to inform young people about internet use and age-appropriate and psychologically safe environment. So she teach the girls through a very interactive workshop how they can use the internet safely while exploring the freedom online. And then Vivian, who will be facilitating the workshop as well. She's the professional development lead at OMG Tech. And her day-to-day job is to inform our teachers nationwide about the use of technology in the classroom, how to incorporate those technology into teaching practices. So yeah, together they will also talk a bit about how they ended up where they are today. And then finally, on day three, we have Rachel, who is from our partner organization, KPMG. She's currently a partner management consulting in technology. And yeah, she will also have a very unique story to share with the girls. And then as another form of activity engagement, we have showcases brought to you by all different nonprofits and our partner organizations. So on day one, we have Sew Machines and Datacom. Sew Machines, in their session, they will introduce a digital person called Viola. And the girls will get the opportunity to talk to this virtual person and hear about what the technologies are behind the scene that made this come true. And following that, we have a showcase from Datacom delivered by Danby and Sammy, who showcase how technology is built on top of creative problem solving. So that's something that we've mentioned a bit earlier on, how creativity comes into play in making technology accessible to everyone. And then on day two, we have the online safety workshop with NetSafe and OMG Tech. So through a range of interactive activities like quizzes and exploring a few different interesting sites, Vivian and Shelley will show the girls about how to manage their own privacy and reputation online and what to do about misinformation. They will also introduce further resources for the girls to go to if they need support or information in that regard. And then finally, on day three, we have Phoebe from Theta to share about her experience in product development. She will share some showcase some stories and tell the girls about the skills involved in creating, for example, how their products made the opening of our border possible, in that reconnecting our country to the rest of the world, which is a very relevant topic right now. And in addition, she will also showcase the wide range of opportunities and careers possible in the tech industry. So yeah, now I'll pass it back to Jonathan for an agenda overview.
Thank you, Shannon. So we do have quite an array of speakers and showcases that I hope everyone's as exciting as us. And so we'll kick off next week on Tuesday, 31st May, starting on 9:05 a.m. and the event will go on till 11. And it will be a 3-day online event that will go on till Thursday. And as you can see, it follows the same structure where we'll have a speaker in each day, showcases and interactive workshops where the girls get to hop in on themselves, and of course a break in between. But if you look on Thursday as well, we do have prize giving at the end to give out, so that's something to look forward for. Of course, we will be sharing this as well, so you can have a look at the agenda yourself. And of course, now you're wondering, how do you join the call? Well, we have two options actually. First option you can join via browser via the link that we provided in the emails. Simply click on the URL and you should have a pop-up that says continue on this browser, and then be sure to sign in with your name and school name, just so we know where you're coming from. And of course, the second option we have for those who have the Microsoft Teams app themselves, it's follows similar steps. Clicking on the URL, a pop-up should come up to open your Teams app, and of course, please sign in with your name and for school. And now with that, we do have some relevant links that I'll ask Shannon to share in the chat as well. Just if you're interested to find out more about DigiGirlz, the partners that are that will be showing the content on the event itself, you can click on the links and find out more. We do have a key contacts here where if you have any concerns or any questions, you can feel free to ask. And so thank you everyone for listening. We are about to kick off our Q&A session, so please unmute yourself and feel free to ask as many questions as you want. We're here for that. Thank you. Any questions? Sorry, Lal, I hope I answered your question about the Whanau night.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, sweet. I think team, I'm not sure if we should turn off recording just so everyone would feel comfortable asking as much questions as they want.